Hello. It's me, Kay. I am here. I am back. So, today we're going to talk about the Halsey Love and Power Tour and how Halsey is a freaking rock star. So, stay tuned for that. Hi, so it's me, Kay, back again. I am here miraculously. You know how it is. I did go to a concert. I did go to see Halsey, and this was my second time seeing Halsey. And when I say Halsey is a rock star, just a freaking rock star, idol, a person to aspire to be, Halsey is all of those things. So it was really great that I was fortunate enough to go see another concert. I will go ahead and tell you all that I did not get a lot of good videos, or I didn't get very good photos either, because the theme of this tour was love and power, and it actually has a lot of it was very dark is what I'll say. So there's a lot of reds, there's a lot of black, a lot of things that are not suitable for photos, I would say. It's more like a very dark, ominous uh, tour or performance. So I didn't get any quality photos because all I brought was my phone, and you all know I'm not a professional. So we didn't get that much, so I'm not going to pretend that I did. Also, I was very, 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 very late to this performance, and that is because I lived 5.5 hours away from the performance. The performance was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I live outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, so I had to drive there. So I was quite late. So I did miss the first opener. I was there for the Maria's performance, and we'll talk briefly about that, but it's very brief because I actually got there at the tail end of their performance. And then we'll mostly be talking about Halsey today, because that's who I actually watched, to be honest with you. So we're going to talk about first the venue. So the venue was the American Family Insurance Amphitheater, I want to say. Too many words. It was too many words. They need to shorten that a little bit. I just feel like it just needs to be a little bit shorter. Um, but we drove from outside of Minneapolis down all the way to Milwaukee. So that's 5 hours, 15 minutes for people who don't know. So it was actually, the concert was at Summerfest, which is a festival that is held every year in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I actually just found out about it when we got there that it was Summerfest. I had no idea. But it was a festival, and they have many different artists. Like I know MGK performed at some point. Next week, I think they were going to have Santana and Earth, Wind, and Fire or something like that. So they just have a bunch of acts and performers come down to perform for Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which I think is pretty dope. When you arrive there, there are some gates that you go through. So when you buy your ticket from Ticketmaster, StubHub, wherever, your ticket is admission to Summerfest itself. So you don't need another ticket. You don't have to purchase anything like that. Your concert ticket does give you access into the gates and also to the free performances or the up and coming artist. I didn't know Summerfest was a thing. I didn't know it was happening. So we got there really late. So we didn't really get to see a lot of different performers, even though I know they were probably really dope. So we got there late. You go through the gates, and there's typically maps and stuff at these places. We did not find a map. We were late. So we were trying to go. And so we actually ended up going the wrong direction completely, walked a long time in the wrong direction. And then I was like, well, at this point, I want some wine. So I stopped at the, why can't I speak today? What's it called? The little place where you can buy wine, the concessions, I guess. But they also have different restaurants, so I don't really want to say concessions, but whatever, it's concessions. And I stopped there, and they're like, oh, if you buy half a bottle of wine, it's $19. And I was like, all right, bet. So I got half a bottle of wine. Their cocktails themselves were about $18. So I felt that half a bottle of wine is pretty comparable. to just having one just cocktail. So, and that wine, it hit good. It hit real good. So I do recommend the half a bottle of wine. It's probably why I look so sleepy now, even though it's been a few days. It's probably the wine. So then I finally asked for directions, because that's what you should do if you're lost, if you didn't know. So we had to go all the way in the opposite direction, and it's a pretty long walk from the entrance to the amphitheater. It's not very visible, I would say, as far as amphitheaters go. I feel like it could be in a better location, but it's not like they're gonna rebuild the whole amphitheater, because I feel this way. So but I just felt like it's kind of tucked in the back of the festival, is what I'd say. So we get there, we go through the gates, everything's fine really with scanning your tickets, with your bag policy. They do have a bag policy. They email it to you, so you know that what you can bring. You can bring a tote, a drawstring bag, and then a clutch or anything like that. And then if they're larger bags, then you can't bring those. If you want more guidance on bags and stuff to bring to concerts, I do have another video that you can go watch, and I'll show you many different bags that you can bring to a concert that actually will get you through the gates. So we're in section 311, I want to say. So we're actually pretty far back in like the bleachers. I felt that the bleachers would be covered from rain, but that was not the case at all. So if you're out there in the 300s at that amphitheater, you will potentially get rained on if it's a rainy day. Luckily for us, it was a beautiful night, just a beautiful weather. Wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, nice little wind blowing, things like that. So you don't always have to worry, but make sure you check those tickets, make sure you check that weather, make sure that all of that's cool. When we get there, the Marias are performing. It's a band. It's, I believe, female led. And they were pretty good. They have like a mellow sound. They're pretty, I like the vibe that they have, for sure. I don't know what I would rank them or anything like that, because I was only there for like 4 songs, if that. What I will say is that I loved. There was this point where a patron had actually like fainted in the pit, or fell in the pit. And Maria stopped their performance right there, asked for assistance. The drummer ran off stage, and all of us were like, what happened? Because like all the way back there we couldn't see anything, but security came and the health people came and took that patron out, and is mad respect to them for, you know, stopping the show and getting that person the help and the assistance that they needed. So I really loved that. And so the performance, like I said, it was pretty chill. I think that was around the last song when that happened, so that's it for that. I told you I wasn't there long. I was in and I was out. So then we're waiting for Halsey, and there are a lot of disclaimers that come on the screen, which is amazing. Okay, so it's like, we use strobe lights. A lot of this might not be suitable for children to see. This might contain images or things that you're not comfortable with. There's a disclaimer. It's there. So people who act like they didn't know Halsey was doing the stuff that Halsey was doing, you can't read then. That's all. You obviously can't read because there's a disclaimer. It says it clear as day. Just like when you used to put like DVDs in and it had like the FBI thing at the front of, if you were to what do people used to do? Copy this CD or this DVD and distribute it, you go to jail, which you ain't going to jail for that. But it's the same thing. There was a disclaimer there. So people who complain about Halsey's concerts, that's a you problem, baby. You obviously can't read. That's all I got to say about that. So Halsey does come on, performs a lot of the songs that I adore. All of them, basically. Every song I wanted to hear basically was performed. And again, this was the second time I've seen Halsey, so there's a lot of songs that I've already heard, already seen performed. And a lot of people don't understand why I go to concerts of artists more than one time. So I will see an artist, on one tour, and then I'll go see them on another tour. And that's because during that time, artists release new music and also they grow. And I love the part of the concert where Halsey said that a lot of the songs no longer applies to them anymore. They were at some point, feeling sad, depressed about, relationships, and that's no longer a part of their life. They're no longer at that part in their life. This just doesn't apply anymore. And so every night they perform those songs because they know that fans love them. But at the end of the day, they tuck that away, put that down, and it's just a song to them. And I really like that because growth is what you want to see in an artist. Advocacy is what you want to see in an artist. They're not here just to placate, to make and take our money. They're here to perform. They're here to create. They're artists. There's a difference between an artist and an entertainer. They are artists. And so if you have an issue with the fact that a artist has feelings or artist has opinions, then you really need to look at yourself, because at the end of the day, those are human beings and they're entitled to their opinions. They're entitled to their feelings, and they feel hurt, they feel pain, they feel everything that we feel. If they didn't feel those things, then we wouldn't relate to the songs that they write, period. So I was not reading the articles about, people walking out of the tour and things like that really upset me, because how do you not know what Nightmare is about? How? Halsey has always advocated for healthcare, very pro-choice, very pro-women, very pro-everything, Black Lives Matter, all of those things. And for you to not do your research before you go to a concert, that's a you problem. I don't understand why you believe that this artist who's always talked about this would just let it go, especially when rights were legitimately taken away from thousands of people. Like, I will never understand people who believe that artists should just stay in their place, because at the end of the day, they are American. Halsey is an American. So they will feel the way that I felt, that other women across the United States have felt, period. And if you believe that your opinion has the right to dictate actual rights for people, then you have an issue and you have a problem, because your opinion does not matter. And the whole scheme of people having actual rights taken away from them. Anyway, whatever. I don't have that many people who subscribe to me, so it doesn't really matter. But if an artist uses their platform to stand up and voice injustice, which they always have throughout the beginning of time, don't know why y'all act like this is brand new, and you don't agree, then don't agree. By the end of the day, you already spent your money to go to that concert, so I just don't understand how you don't know what Nightmare is about. Like, it was released when they were trying to defund Planned Parenthood. And the day of, it was something, that song was released. So I'm just baffled. I'm baffled by people who are so blind to just, I guess, to the world, to the needs of others, to the emotions and feelings of others. It just baffles me. And that you don't do your research on your artists. Best believe when Black Lives Matter was trending and everything, I was looking at which artists were donating, which artists were contributing, which artists were going to protest, and the people who didn't, I don't follow them anymore, and I don't listen to their music anymore. Period. So, I mean, it is what it is. Anyway. So, performance-wise, is awesome. There are some differences, for sure, from the Hopeless Fountain Kingdom tour and the Love and Power tour. And the biggest difference is Halsey is no longer a pop star. They're a rock star. That's it. Pop stars are kind of entertainers who have to dance, they have to sing, they have to wear revealing outfits, sequins, things like that. whereas Halsey is more like transitioning to like a grunge type of rock. I think there was no concert, there was no clothing changes, nothing like that, which was because I go to a lot of concerts, and you know what? Male identified singers, they never change clothes. If they're a rock band, like Dan from Imagine Dragons never changed his outfit. Danny, the script, never changed his outfit. James Arthur never changed their outfit. So you don't have to do the concert or the clothes changes. You don't have to dance. You don't have to sing for people to enjoy your performance. And I still enjoyed this performance, even though it's light years different from Hopeless Fountain Kingdom. And I've seen both. I've seen Halsey do both. And both were amazing in their times. But artists will change, artists will evolve. And I loved that this, at this moment, is their authentic self. This is just their authentic self at this moment. It could change. Halsey might decide one day, yo, I want to wear a leotard again. And I want to dance. And that's totally fine. But I like the evolution. I like the dichotomy. And I like the change. That's why I go to concerts by the same people. I will watch another artist perform multiple times because of the fact that they always change. And that's cool. I did cry like a baby. So the first Hopeless Fountain Kingdom, there's a song on that album that I really like, and that is 100 Letters. And when Halsey performed this, I was in Washington State at the time, and they would either perform Young God or they would perform 100 Letters, and the audience got to choose. And 100 Letters didn't win. And so I felt that I would never, ever hear that song live. And they added it to this tour. And so you actually could see this or hear the performance of this song. And this was one of the songs that Halsey said no longer applies to them. But it's a song that resonates with me. It's just a beautifully written song. It's just beautifully written, just poetic in every way. And so I just cried, and I think it was because I was so happy that I finally got to hear the song live, and also just the song really just hits me in so many different feels. It's just how it is. So I was super happy, and I don't know why, I just cried like a baby. And then the set it can go whatever way it wants to. I also did like that Halsey performed a few songs and then warned parents that things were going to get PG-13 rated R towards the end of the concert. So if you have a child, you might want to skedaddle. And I like that. Yes, tell the parents. And children should be able to see artists that they love. But not everything is for children. Okay, we don't live our lives for your kids, period. I never understood the whole Miley Cyrus is a bad role model. No, you need to be a role model for your kids. It has nothing to do with artists. It is not an artist's job to raise your children. It's not a TV show's job to raise your kids. It's your job, period. So there are times where artists will do what they want to do because they are adults. So if you're bringing your child to see an adult perform, they might do some adult things. Okay. So I loved the disclaimer because Halsey said themselves that they are a parent as well. So because they are a parent, they know that, there are some things you might not want your child to see if they're like 3 or 4. There were 3 or 4-year-olds there, and I was like, why? You wasting money. It's a waste of money to bring a child there that young, in my opinion. But concert was amazing. Where I would rank it would probably be like a 9.5 is what I want to say. Yeah, about a 9.5 is what I'd give it. Because it was so different and I wasn't necessarily prepared myself for it to be different. Because I felt, and I also had not watched the movie that came with Love and Power. So if I cannot have love, I want power. I never watched the movie. I bought the movie, never watched it. So I was kind of hoping for like a little bit of a reenactment of that, but we didn't get that, and that's okay. That's nobody's job. I was just like hoping for it. It didn't happen, so I'll have to go buy it again and go watch it again. But yeah, 9.5, 10. Again, I wasn't there very long. I was I was late. I'll try to do better next time, but again, y'all don't pay my bills and y'all don't pay me, so I'm doing this for free. Once I start getting flights out and stuff like that and flued out and stuff, then maybe y'all can dictate what time I get places, but I got there. That's all that matters, is that I went. So now we're at the everyone's favorite part, my merch. I did buy merch, even though I'm an unemployed child and I have zero money. I was able to buy merch because you have to support artists while they're on the road and while they're touring. So, the first thing I got is the Love and Power poster. And so this tour is almost over. So I went to the July 2nd one, and right now it's what, July 5th? So yeah, there's like 2 more performances. So if you wanted to see it, you late. You can't see it, baby. But yeah, I got this. So I'll let you go ahead and guess how much it was. Okay. So I believe it was $15. Don't quote me. I'll put a thing with the merch up there, but I'm pretty sure that was $15. The next thing I bought was a tote bag. You guys know what I'm doing with my tote bags. Eventually, I will have enough tote bags that I would be able to make a little quilt out of them. So why do you need love so badly? That's what it says. And then I believe this is like a photo of Halsey, maybe. So I love the little tote. It's actually quite big. It's a lot bigger than some of my other totes. So that's nice. So guess how much this was? And then I believe this was, one of them was 10, one of them was 15. So either one of them was $10, one of them was $15. I will look and see though, for sure. And you can also text in the concert, and they'll tell you where the merch is and everything like that. The merch table is actually outside of the venue as you're walking up towards your seats. So that's where I got my merch, and I actually did that before the concert instead of after the concert, which actually was awesome because the line after the concert was so long, which is also why I missed a lot of the performances. And then the last thing I got was a shirt. I got, and you know, I don't really get that many shirts, but it says, "From a tender age, I was cursed with rage." And this is from Lighthouse, which is one of my favorite songs on the new album. I mean, it's just beautifully written. Beautiful. Just a beautiful line. And so this was, we'll go ahead and guess. How much do you think this was? It was $45, which is reasonable for most concert tees. That's how much they are. So I got a shirt, I got a tote, and I got a poster. And so I will now have to put these in a place and keep them safe. And I'll hang my poster somewhere in my office. As you see, I have a ton of posters, shit ton of them. So I don't know where I'll put this one, but I will find a place for sure. And then I also wanted to mention that during one of the performances, Halsey did a live painting, which was awesome. It was dope. That's like my favorite thing that they do. And you could, at the end of the show, actually participate in an auction to get that painting. And then after, like, they receive the money, then they'll donate the money to a charity, which I thought was pretty dope. So that is it for my video. This one's, I don't think it's that long, but it could be long for some people. I don't think I'll add any actual pictures or anything, to be honest. Because this concert, like I said, I didn't really get any good quality pictures, and I don't see the point in adding a lot of them. But I hope that you had a great time. You can comment down below, like, what are your favorite Halsey songs, some of the cool things that you've seen artists do to advocate for other people. And then also remember to like and subscribe if you like me. If you don't, that's also fine. I don't care anymore. I do hope you have a great day, though. Bye-bye.